Hello and welcome back to the cronecast at the rising moon. Hey guys, today I have advice for your love life, how to get the best outcomes. I admit I am reshooting this intro because of the way the piles turned out. I was told to do a love reading and it turned out to be advice on how to get the best outcomes in love. So you have piles 1 through 3. See which one really calls out to you. That's the one that has the message you are most meant to receive. If you need to find me, you can find me at therisingmoon.com exclusively. I don't approach people in comment sections or DMs. I have a Patreon. Logical Magic Examining Esoterica is my podcast. Take a moment. You're going to have a moment here with the cards. Concentrate. See which one really stands out to you. No matter where you are in your healing journey, there's advice about what's coming next in love to help you get the best outcomes, okay? Take care, be well, I'll see you at the time of your reading. Hello, welcome back. Hey, if you chose pile number 1, this is your reading. We're putting the number 1 over there so that people can easily fast forward to their reading. But there are timestamps in the description box down below. Hey, before I get started, if you want to book me for a private reading, you can do so exclusively at therisingmoon.com. Please don't pay any attention to anything in the comment section trying to sell you anything. That will never be me. And then always whenever there are comments, there is a tendency to be people trying to sell magic and a couple of other things. The only way to book me is through therisingmoon.com. I have a Patreon with the Spirit Guide Monthly, the Spirit Guide Weekly, and some other special messages as well as some tarot lessons. Let's get started with your reading. All right, we have the 2 Wands in reverse, which is a crossroads energy. It's making plans and committing to things. It can be a commitment. Interesting. Let's see what's going on here. What else do we have? We're doing an infinity spread. King of Wands in the upright. Now, that can be fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But it's usually very passionate energy. It can be the start of something new. But in the Kings, it's usually a manifesting energy. So it's had a little bit of time to mature. So there's a lot of fire and attraction and connection coming up for you. We'll see if it's an existing one or one that's coming towards you. This 8 of Cups in reverse, which is something returning. It looks like it's a continuing journey with somebody. I have the 3 of Wands in reverse, which can be a third-party situation, but it can be a third-party interference card. We're doing an infinity spread, which is 8 cards. We're going to talk about the subconscious issues, and then we get 2 outcome cards as well. Here we go. What else do we have here? 5 of Swords in the upright, which is conflict. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit interesting. Hold on. I have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, which is dropping your guard, allowing your heart chakra to open to love. If you're hearing a hesitation in my voice, listen, one way that you're going to be able to tell if this is your pile or not is you've been involved in a third-party situation that you ended, and it does look like the person is coming back, okay? With the 4 Swords in the upright, which is contemplation, rest, it was something, somebody is returning after something was put to rest. Have they resolved that third-party situation, trauma? We have the 10 of Swords in reverse. No, they have not yet. They're not functioning super well without you. We have the Queen of Swords in the upright. That's the air sign, Libra, Gemini. This is Aquarius. Why am I stumbling around a little bit? It's like you know better. Like this person's coming back, and I don't think it's the first time it's happened. Wheel of Fortune in the upright to start a new cycle. Okay, so on this particular one, you've been involved with somebody, and it was a third-party situation. Have they left the relationship behind that was the sticking point? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. But they have a real feelings for you. It's just that they get very torn on what is important to them. I don't know if it's a family situation. They're not depicting the children or anything here, but a lot of people hang on to relationships because they don't want to lose their house and everything they built. It feels like one of those situations more than about being about children. But let's check our messages of love cards. What's going on for pile number 1? So this person is coming back and they're telling you it is a crossroads moment. If you want a relationship where somebody just focuses on you, this person has not made a firm commitment towards ending the relationship. They have some issues with intimacy. It is easier for them to develop like this chemical, like passionate connection to somebody, but it scares them and then they shut down their heart chakra. They lost their connection, their attraction towards the person that they are, have some form of commitment with. And there's a lot there between the two of you. And it is partially because it kind of felt good to have somebody like risk everything for you. But remember, that's not a mark of your worth. It's a mark of their ability to have sound judgment in their own life. Self-care. Clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. Mastery. You've learned the spiritual lesson. We have strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. And then balance. One person is giving too much in the relationship with protected. You're safe and divinely guided on the back of that, which is the underlying issues energy. So we've got that. And then what happens? If you decide to release it, well, then you have the chance of beginning a new era within your own life. And is it for them, is it just a sex thing? It's weird because yes and no. The passion is why they can't leave it alone. But they're damaged and they're not able to figure out what to do with that. Meaning that they're likely to repeat a cycle. Like you logically know this. They're likely to repeat a cycle even if they were to leave that other person behind. People who don't figure out why they're cheating, cheat again. Or why they chose to have a commitment with somebody that they didn't really love, which is kind of what happened here. Is like, I don't get the feeling that they fell out of love with this person. I don't think they were ever properly in love with them. We have the golden mirror. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship and love bombing. Well, this is not the most positive reading, but please remember when you get a reading that gives you information that maybe you're like, this doesn't sound good, it's a key to freedom. It's the thing that will set you free from the toxic relationship cycles that we all have a tendency to repeat until such time as we question, why do I keep doing this? What's my underlying reason for doing this? What am I looking for? What did my mom, was she left by my dad for somebody else? And I'm just perpetuating a karmic and generational cycle, which can happen. And we do these things that are very complicated, not understanding that we're trying to heal a subconscious wound. So as a for instance, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but if you are somebody who grew up in a home where it was broken apart because somebody had an affair and they left to go be with the affair partner, that likely created within you a desire to be the one that was chosen over this other person. And that's the subconscious issue that you may be trying to address through your external choices. And that's all I told you. I'm not a super romantic love reader. I'm usually not quite this cut and dried. But this one is like you have an opportunity to stop the cycle and to find the love that you really want. But it has to be in recognizing that, yeah, it's like melt your brain hot type of connection, but that it melts everything else it touches because it's destructive rather than productive. And that if this person, because they won't apparently commit to leaving the other person, if they won't, then like don't put yourself in that position. Choose yourself first. We have the chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. Even my cards are a little bit like, hey, recognize what's going on here. You're trying to assuage a fear of abandonment issue by if somebody chooses me over another person, that means they really, really love me. And what it really means is maybe they're not so great at commitments because they've got their own underlying stuff. Passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. This is, I don't know how else to put it. It's a sex thing. It's a sex thing. I'm not trying to be brutal. I'm so sorry. I never want to hurt anybody when I'm doing these. But you have a chance to be free of a cycle and to invite real love into your life if you choose wisely around this one. Seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference with acts on the back. Breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment. I was wondering why my guides were all very positive on me doing a love reading. I help people heal from toxic patterns. And so I was all like, yay, it'll be so romantic. And apparently what it is an opportunity to learn to grow, to find the love that you truly deserve. Somebody who will treat you as their priority. And somebody wanting you does not convey worth onto you. It just means that, you know, their parts are meant for your parts in brief spurts. And like it's a chemical reaction. It's a chemical reaction. And it can exist with somebody who treats you properly as well. We have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. can also be. And then stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And then let's get going here. What else do we have? And then we have make the effort with worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Until you break this pattern, you're going to repeat it. The only way to break a pattern is to understand why you're doing it. And it is because of an abandonment issue, according to my cards. Now, if this doesn't fit your situation, please, please understand I am not trying to in any way insult or hurt you. But your guides are trying to ask you if you're involved in this third-party situation, and it's because it's exciting and because you feel like they must really, 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 really want me if they're willing to risk their whole life. No, all it means is that they're not really careful with the things they are entrusted with when it comes to somebody else's love sometimes, because they don't know how to fully control this part of themselves. And it has nothing to do with you being desirable. Somebody else that really loves you and values you and would, like, you know, put you first, it doesn't mean they love you less. It doesn't mean they love you less. And please consider looking at the past pattern we were talking about. If it existed in your childhood, it is so normal and so human to perpetuate a karmic generational cycle until such time as we actively choose to break it. We have true love. Pure love, honest connection, past love. Wallflower, limited potential, shy withholding. And then destiny, luck, chance, meant to be. With career, business, success, and advancement with young male. So listen, you could really, 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 really deeply, deeply love somebody, but this is not saying that it's doing all that well with your connection. They are asking you to remember that there's a different potential for you, but that it lies in breaking this, because you already have some trust issues, apparently, that were engendered into you because of something that happened in your childhood. And that the problem that becomes that, even because not all third-party situations are equal, not everybody's enacting some kind of like, hey, they just have impulse control problems. The problem becomes that there's a part of you that wouldn't trust the connection because of it. That you're accidentally putting yourself in a position to not really feel secure in a relationship. And that it's the thing that you're trying to assuage with an abandonment issue is to find a way to be secure. I might be turning comments off on this particular reading. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. And I'm not laughing at your pain. I'm just like, this is hard stuff to hear. It's hard stuff to hear and it's hard stuff to develop. But there is a real potential pairing for you. It's just your guides are saying, be careful with this. Somebody from the past who's not entirely free will return. And that, you know, only you can be like, yeah, this is not enough for me. This is the Lover's Oracle. We're going to take a couple. Balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. Hey, you got the balance card where it was, one person is giving too much. All relationships are meant to be equal. And if this person takes their commitment and their life building to somebody else but wants to hit you up because you have this brain melting chemistry together, that's not really balance. It's not. And it changes when it's no longer got the thrill behind it too. So remember with that. Cupid's arrow strikes, and then we have reflection. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that that it all will work out for the best. Unfortunately, we have embrace here. Through each other, you find the missing pieces. So this is a very chaotic one because it's telling you that there are two paths ahead. And that you need to turn away someone in a third-party situation to bring the real deal to you. That this person, like, it's wonderful to have that insane chemistry with somebody, that kind of like, oh my God, this is why sex is so great connection. But if it's not followed through with real emotional commitment, over time that dims. Because we get used to somebody and it's almost like we develop a tolerance for that chemical attraction. Be careful with your choices going forward. There's something different for you. And they're asking about a new karmic cycle, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the upright. Make good choices in this. Please remember that you may be influenced by some things in your past that have nothing to do with your worth or how lovable you are. Okay, we have Feel the Power and Blood of Your Ancestors. You are not alone. That's a generational trauma card as well. With Re-energized in the Natural World. Let your inner hunter or huntress take rest, and then Lost in the Ruins of the Past. Find the way to the present moment and live. The past influences our choices, but we can break our cycles. Hey, pile number one, I'm not going to belabor this too long because they're telling you that there's a different course for you, but that it does rely in shutting something down for good and sending somebody away who is proven. And by the way, this is the only way this is your pile is if you're like, yeah, no, that is part of my past. That person will keep coming back as often as you let them. And that really only you can choose you. But if you're waiting for them to change, it's working out okay for them. They're getting what they want. They really, really, really do want you, but it's because they're not, they may have ADHD and they have hypersexuality is the easiest way I have putting that. And so like they really do have, they have the hots for you, but they don't want to release the security of a relationship that it's very known to them. There's no peril there. And they built something, and there may be children involved because I did get the children card flashing in my face, but it may not be for everybody. So I'm sorry for a bit of a downer on that, but please pay more attention to, we had other cards that suggest that there is a real love for you, a true love, that this one is true passion, the person who is involved in a third-party situation in which you are the person excluded from the committed relationship. And that if you choose differently, you can get a different outcome and find your real person. But that your soulmate would not actually treat you this way, and to try and keep that in mind, okay? They wouldn't leave you hanging. They wouldn't have trouble choosing you. I started out to say that not all third-party situations are equal. And what really happens is somebody meets somebody and they're like, oh my God, this connection, I cannot resist it. This really is my soulmate. I must blow up my entire life because this is my soulmate. You blow up your life to be with your soulmate. If you really meet your soulmate, you're willing to be like, no, there's nothing that compares to this. If that person has not taken those steps, please stop allowing them access to you because they're getting what they want out of the behaviors that they're conducting themselves through. Turn them away and let something real in is what my cards are saying, okay? Sorry that was a bit of a downer. You might want to pick one of the other piles, which may give you your alternative possibility, okay? Take care. Be well. Hey, welcome back. This is your pile. If you chose pile number 2, we're putting the number 2 over there so that people can easily fast forward to their readings, but there are always timestamps in the description box down below. Hey, if you need to find me, you can find me at therisingmoon.com exclusively if you want to book me for a tarot card reading or life coaching session. I have a Patreon that has the Spirit Guide Weekly and the Spirit Guide Monthly. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below. Let's get going with your reading. I was super, super excited to do a love reading. What is coming up for you in love? Because my guides told me to do it. And I'm not the most romantic love reader. I'm always helping people heal trauma and release old pain and all kinds of things. And so I thought it was sweet that they wanted a strictly romantic reading. And already it's like, okay, we're helping people heal. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but let's see what's coming up for you in love. 6 of Wands in the upright. That can be a new person coming in. That is progress. That is sometimes a social media star. It's the victory in the, Emperor in the upright. That is a very male energy. That can be the Aries energy as well. The Emperor is the card of wise choices. It's the Wisdom of Solomon card. It's also the card of having control of your personal power. I think I have somebody new coming in. 6 of Swords in reverse, which can be closure on something and ending. It is also one of the cards for making amends. 8 of Cups in reverse. We have yet another. There is a returning energy on this one. It's better than the last one I did. 7 of Cups in reverse. Something being brought into the 3D. I have the High Priestess in reverse, which is clarity. Things being revealed. Things being made clear. I have the Queen of Swords in the upright, which is another card for clarity. It is the air sign energy of Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. I'm not much of an astrological reader. It's just wisdom and seeing the truth easily. With the 2 of Wands in reverse, which is a grounded crossroads energy, making a choice, committing to it. Hanged Man in reverse, being brought out of a period of stasis. 9 of Cups in reverse can be a card for disappointment or a delayed wish fulfillment. So this is kind of fun because after a period of working on some things, like you're getting back into the groove, and I do have somebody new coming in. That returning energy, I don't think is a particular person. What I think it is a return to like getting back out there, meeting new people, finding new love, being careful and being discerning in your choices. That's one of the things with the Queen of Swords. You've had a slightly disappointing run in things like dating and relationships. Some people here might have had a marriage on, by the way. Because there's a period of like not doing much of anything other than healing. And that period of your life is meant to be coming to an end, and you are meant to be trying to find new ways to meet people. The dating apps are difficult. I really suggest people do things like speed dating or take classes, look for meetups that are singles events. You'll have a better experience. People are less likely to be demeaning and do things like bombard you with pictures of their private parts if they've met you in person. Because the anonymity of doing that in an online setting is part of what allows people to be like gross, frankly. So one of the best ways to do that is to put yourself in social situations where it's a physical meetup. Let's get going here. What do we have coming up for pile number 2? So I have new opportunities coming for you. We have interference, an external party is intruding on this relationship. With self-care, yeah, you had to heal. we had that part, but it's about time for you to get moving again is what it's looking like to me. Release, radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. And then we have protected. You are safely and divinely guided. We're going to go one more on this one, which is different pages. You and this person don't share the same vision with awakening. Someone is undergoing a spiritual transformation. So the first thing we have up is that like there are new people coming in, but the first person we're not, like they're not there. They're not on a committed relationship. Make choices around that. We need to bring something. This is a ghosting energy as well. So I do have something around that, but remember, don't take it personally. It's not about your worth. It's about the work they haven't done. But beyond that, I have like real connection. It's just that it's like all of the work that you put in on making good choices and recognizing healthy patterns and having only the love that is truly worthy of you. Please remember that things repeat in cycles. So if you've had kind of an icky relationship history in the past, it's like it tries to come back to you, and you have to be very discerning in your choices. That's the easiest way I have of putting it. All right. We have mask. Not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, and gaslighting with abundance. Keep a positive mindset and manifest exactly what you want, gratitude and bliss. First person is the one that you have to make some choices around. And is it going to be the first person for absolutely everybody? It might be existing in your life already. If somebody has ghosted you, take it for like a measure of their worth, not yours. And just let it go. Sunglasses. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Man, you had a lot to heal from, huh? I'm sorry. And then we have one more on this one. Girl with a snake, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. Okay. And then we have talking. Interested, conversing more, awaited messages arrive, text, call, email, and hoovering with the sword and the rose, clarity. All right, so there are better connections available to you, but it looks like there may be a returning energy that you need to deal with first. And remember, once you start rejecting it in the 3D, once you're like, not again, get behind me, no, it goes away. Doesn't mean it won't ever take another run at you, but so many of these things have to do with generational trauma, the girl with the snake, the empath narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used. It may have happened to you in the past. It doesn't mean it's always going to happen to you, okay? We're going to take love cards from the Romance Angels. It's funny. Social media and ghosting is being depicted on this as well. Please don't take it personally when somebody acts like that. They're acting from a place of their damage, not in like evaluation of your worth. If somebody ghosts, if somebody lies, if somebody is treating this all like a game, that isn't about you. That is about their lack of ability to treat other people as being worthwhile. And that really does reflect how they actually feel about themselves no matter how they talk. Narcissists have the worst self-esteem. They project everything onto other people. There's actually a lot of self-loathing in narcissists. We have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. What looked pretty positive to me is turning into a, please be very careful on this one. A new person is not on the same effort. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. We want one more on this one. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others, and then on the back we have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Here is the problem. We have a bad actor on the stage first. And one of the things that we have to do is be able to recognize who somebody really is versus are they the person we want them to be. And it does look like you're getting back out there, but the first foray into this, first new person coming in may ghost. And if they do, just accept it. If somebody tries to leave your life, oh my goodness, please let them go. Please let them go, because they're not worth driving yourself crazy over. They're not. And it's taking responsibility for somebody else's actions, and also a little bit signing off on poor treatment for ourselves when it's like, okay, I'll be here when you need me. If somebody treats you as your feelings not mattering, honest to goodness, they're showing you who they are in relationships. And just be glad you got the protected card. The whole idea that rejection is divine protection. There's clarity on ghosting here, isn't there? I really did wonder why they wanted me to do a love reading. All right, here we go. It's because there's some people who you're being cautioned on your journey to not overinvest in people who are not proving themselves worthy of the time and investment. Making the effort. If they're not making the effort, please don't. Please let it go. Just please let it go. And then what happens? Like delayed wish fulfillment, new things come to you when you make new and different choices. Spiritual enlightenment. These are the higher love oracles. Prepare for change. Change your patterns and you change your outcomes. And then we have helping others mentor. Oh Lord. Pausing to reflect, rest, and relaxation. And then we have new or revived relationship with transformation. So, guys, I'm going to stick with the first thing that I saw, which was somebody new coming in and having a good outcome. First, there is a returning energy. If you have been ghosted in the past, expect a ghosting person to come along, but for you to have a fresh eye as to what causes it. What happens so often when someone is ghosted is they wonder, what did I do? And it has nothing to do with what they did. It has everything to do with how that person values relationships and what page they are on in their own journey. And as soon as you're like, yep, they ghosted and I was gone, so they ghosted and then I went ahead and blocked them because I'm done with this. I'm done with being treated like this. And once you have a high standard for your treatment, then nobody wastes your time for very long. And that's what a healing journey teaches us. That is the wisdom that we acquire through the lessons that we have learned, which is the High Priestess in reverse. So this is for somebody who, one of the ways you can tell the piles is whether or not it fits your energy. You've had somebody ghost you in the past. It's likely to be a repeating pattern. Expect a very different outcome if you view it differently. If you view it as being about them, oh good, I dodged a bullet there, didn't waste a lot of time. They ghosted and I went ahead and blocked. And please go ahead and block. If somebody ghosts you for over a week, just go ahead and block. It's the easiest way to make sure your time is not taken up by that person. Young male, sporty cars, youthful. Friendship. Control. Taking back power. And then mature woman with courting man. So we have somebody who, like, they are not, it might have been a friends with benefits situation. I have somebody coming in that you're meant to be like, nope, not good enough. And once you establish that pattern of having a high standard for your treatment, then you're going to get different outcomes. And it'll be about like fun. It'll be about fun, which if you're viewing dating as I'm trying to find my person, I'm trying to find my person, I'm trying to find my person, view it as meeting people to figure out whether or not you're compatible with them, whether or not you really like them, whether or not you think they have a good character. And ghosting somebody is not a mark of any of that. Ghosting somebody is like they're not putting the same level of importance in their connection with you as you might be. And as soon as they show that, really honest to goodness, I don't actually really advise people to block people because it's better to deal with things head on, but you cannot deal with an avoidant person head on. The only thing that you can do is free yourself from their pattern. So after that, what do we have? Because I'm sorry that this is turning into the cautionary tale love reading. But they are trying to help you. The serpent, which is an attachment energy. A sly and solo approach is needed. With water, emotions are at their peak. The spirit, unseen forces watch over you, and we want one more, which is the green man. The forces of nature favor you. The gate, this can be a barrier, keeps you from your goal. It's a blocking energy. All right, so pile number 2, on your journey towards real love, which you're likely watching this because you want real love. you have to decide that if somebody isn't treating you properly, they don't have access to you. It's the only way to stop a pattern. And that as soon as you start doing that, like maybe things you won't get quite as, you won't have any players in your life is the easiest way of putting that. It's like, well, things might not be hot and heavy with lots and lots and lots of people coming in, but when you have a high standard for your treatment, then only the right people get to get very far close to you. Because what happens is the investment of time and energy can be not equal. And we want these balanced relationships to get better outcomes. So you're being warned that, like, hey, there's somebody you're meant to be thrown back. The way you're going to be able to know is that they're going to, like, behave in a ghosting manner. They're ghosting and then they're coming back. Make a good decision around that, and it will start a new era in your life about the type of connections you can really expect. And it's hard because when you really like somebody, it's really a chemical response within your brain. And we can be very attracted to people who are opposite. And if we're really super duper loving people, then our energy that we're super attracted to may be people who are a little bit withholding. And that's what you need to be aware of. It's like, okay, if somebody goes, it means that they're not, like, I can't earn that. I can't, like, chase that. I can't make somebody want me. So I'm just going to say, fine, I'm going to take my fine butt and leave you in the dust, block. And you close that door. People who ghost and come back frequently are treating people like a convenience. And you don't want that. You want to be a priority. And that's the thing to remember. You're getting a message about how to get the love you want. And that the real deal is a little bit, you have to resolve any patterns in your life that don't serve your best interest. We have courage, success. These are good cards. And then we have rebirth, which is a new beginning. All right, and then we have blessed day with Luna, which is a card of intuition, the moon, a couple of other things. So pile number 2, make good choices around the people who are coming towards you. You have somebody coming towards you, and this is going to be for people who are actively dating. It does look like it's through dating apps, by the way. People are coming actively towards you. If you make good choices, you're going to start a new, you want to know how to open up for your soulmate, for your divine partnership. This is the way to do it. It's the easiest way to pare down that message is there's somebody you're going to need to ghost. And you might feel a really profound level of connection or attraction to them. And don't think that they will develop it over time. They're showing you their attachment style and their ability to commit. And if it is poor to start, remember, if they change it simply because they're like, I want you around, then that's not a real change. Alteration at a deep level means they change it beforehand. It doesn't happen. They have healed within whatever allowed them to be avoidant around relationships. Take people as they are and don't expect them to change, but you can change. And when you do, it looks like you get a completely different result, because the Nine of Cups in reverse for me is a card of delayed wish fulfillment. You will get what you want when you are able to say, I might want that person, but they're showing me aspects of themselves that indicate they're not the one I should want. I want good things for myself. You got the interference and you got self-care. If you're not choosing in service of what is best for you, toxic people will go to anybody. They will keep going back to people who allow that toxic behavior. And ghosting is toxic. Ghosting is a toxic, avoidant behavior. Is blocking? No, that's self-protective. Somebody ghosts you, and that is 7 to 10 days without a response on something. Take it as a real sign of who they are and how they will treat you going forward, and free yourself from that punishing cycle so that the real love that wants to come to you when you have a very high standard of treatment for what you will accept from another person, you will get the treatment that you insist upon. And if you allow somebody to treat you like a convenience, they will come back to you over and over again like you are 7-Eleven. Make yourself into, Tiffany's. You only want the highest people coming in there, the people who are going to treat you like you are a gem and valuable and worth their time and focus, attention, and effort. Somebody needs to make effort towards you to be your real person, okay? Honest to goodness, it's a sweet and romantic idea that somebody changes because they're in love with us. We all want to look towards Pride and Prejudice for the, we have to remember, Jane Austen was a satirist. She was a satirist. We're not actually supposed to think it was this wonderful, great thing that Darcy changed who he was to be with her. He had the hots for her. And it's a nice story, but if you try and emulate it, you have to live through all of that bad behavior and poor treatment first. And that establishes how somebody will revert to treating you. And just be careful with it. You have a real love, but it has to get past a tendency towards explaining away somebody's poor treatment of you. Okay, so this is likely just a love advice reading at this particular point. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. You have an opportunity to put an end to a cycle and change your future going forward. And your guides just want you to know that that's the element of it. He who goes must be gone. Okay? Take care. Be well. Welcome back. Hey, if you chose pile number 3, this is your reading. We're going to put the number 3 over there because that way people can easily fast forward to their reading. But there are timestamps in the description box down below. So this turned into more like a love advice reading, and I will likely reshoot my intro. I was surprised when my guides wanted me to do a love reading because I help people heal from traumatic relationships. And this has to do with like how to get the best outcomes in love. So here we go. What do we got for pile number 3? What do we got for pile number 3? I have the 4 of Cups in reverse, which is things happening behind the scenes, like the divine trying to bring you something. In the upright, it's like underlying issues sometimes, being haunted by something. But this is something happening behind the scenes. We have the Hermit in the upright, which is withdrawing itself, sometimes spending a little bit too much time alone. It can be the Virgo card as well. It's a soul-searching card. What do we have for pile number 3 here, please? Ace of Swords in reverse, cutting ties with something. Chariot in reverse, so it's a returning energy, sometimes a blocked energy. Let's see. We have the 2 of Swords in the upright, which is denial, sometimes refusing to see a path forward. It's choices as well. I have the Justice card in the upright, which is the divine timing card. It's one of the cards that features the Archangel Raphael, which is the heart space archangel. I have the 5 of Wands, change, competition, activity. A movement. Prince of Swords in the upright, which is an electronic message. We're going to get our outcome cards here. I know I'm not saying a lot. It's, 10 of Swords in reverse, which is a trauma card. Okay. With the Judgment card in reverse, which is about new karmic cycles beginning, we're taking one more on that. With the 7 of Swords in the upright, which, for one, so I'm going with the futility marker on that. Hey, listen. It's a hard thing because it looks to me like this particular pile, like things that happened in the past are dictating your choices in the future. The divine does not ever want to force anybody to have a relationship. They don't. But this particular pile, it looks like you are taking, like you've gotten off the freeway before you reach the destination. If you have undertaken a long healing journey to heal from past pain, because this person has been so traumatized they just don't even want to try again. They just don't even want to try again. And you don't have to, but please question why you would cut off such an entire part of your existence based on a bad actor in your past. Like one person does not then, they're not indicative of the rest of humanity. Even if you've had, it's like it wasn't one person, it was 4 relationships. Until we're healed, we don't make healthy choices. If you've healed, it means you can make healthy choices. Now, if you've healed so much that you're like, I don't even see the point, then that's okay. But remember, if you're acting from a place of fear, it means you still have something to heal. We have self-care. Clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. Balance. One person is giving too much in this relationship. It can also just be a balanced relationship. Addiction, which can be a codependency energy. This is an addiction card as well. Please don't react poorly to the idea of addiction. It's just compulsive activity, doing things that aren't necessarily good for us. And then we have unplug, which can be letting go of something. And then I have patience with warning on the back, don't dismiss the red flags. Pile number 3, this is an interesting message. Quit trying to decide what your future holds based on where you are right now. Whoever this pile is for, you got decimated, just absolutely decimated in a love relationship. And you keep trying to figure out like the rest of your life based on, well, I healed and like, give the idea that like you can just become a happy person, and maybe when you're happier, you'll have more room inside of your life for people. But it's not actually futile to pursue greater connection with people. Like hardly anybody is really meant to live in this hermit energy. Hardly anybody is meant to live the monk non-existence. You were trying to heal from codependency, which is generational. Stop thinking about it as a character flaw. Choosing the wrong people, people who don't give back at the same level. It has to do with generational trauma and what you were surrounded by and the things that you're trying to compensate for that needed to be healed. Whoever this person is, you've done a great deal of healing. You're currently single. And a part of you thinks, well, that's what I'm meant to be for the rest of time, because why in the world would I ever risk somebody hurting me like that again? You healed so that you would not ignore red flags. And it is the hardest stage in healing to admit, how many red flags did I really ignore in that other person? And it's not about blaming yourself, it's about understanding, wow, all those unhealed traumatic wounds within my shadow side really dictated the choices that I made. But I healed them, which means that I would make different choices now. You've changed your interior world, but you won't allow currently a change in your external world. The only other thing I would like you to understand, because of the unplug in patience, if you healed from codependency, understand getting detailed love readings is not actually good. It taps into fears, it taps into a chasing energy, it taps into the things, it's like picking at a scab basically. It's like, no, you did a lot of work to heal that. I'm not saying you should never get a love reading, it's just that it needs to be about somebody who's present in your life already. And that's one of the ways and it's just to find out if they're trustworthy, if there's anything you need to know about obstacles you face, that kind of thing. But trying to look at love readings for what's coming up in your love life, it can be a little bit self-defeating, because it's not all readers have messages for everybody. And it really is, when you're on a healing journey, your guides prevent things from happening. They genuinely do. It's your higher self. They're working in conjunction with your higher self. They have the permission of your higher self to block out things. Just allow for the idea that you don't know the end of this story, and that's okay. We have girl talk, time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. If you are still super negative about the idea of connection with another person based on your past, you're still healing. You're still healing. The sword and the rose, and some people have been healing for years and years. How long does it take? It takes as long as it takes. Divine timing does not exist on a clock or a calendar. It's a state of energetic readiness. The sword and the rose, clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. You learned all these things so you see people very clearly. Hey, you might have gone, because here's what happens when we linger in those toxic relationships. We're seeing somebody for who we hope they are rather than who they are. When you heal, there can be a stage in healing where you see somebody as just a mass of potential red flags. So you switch the focus from, I see you in the best possible light you could be, to I see everybody in the worst possible light they could be reflected in. Because I'm not a Thoth reader, but this is a deck that is marked with the Thoth meanings, which is futility is on the top of that. The Seven of Swords is a lies, deceit, manipulation. It can be an addict's card. It can also be a tread carefully card and a strategy card. It's also a temporary situation. We have talking, interested in conversing more, awaited messages, text, call, email, and hovering. All right. And then I have cassette, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. We want more on this. And then the chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. Oh, with mirror. Mirroring each other's self-image, relationships reflect our wounds, and introspection. Lightning on the back, with sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. Hey, listen, if you have fully recovered from codependency, a lot of you is yeah, I don't want to see love readings. I'm just working on my own life. Because it has not been a particularly productive area of your life. It's not about your worth, it's about what wounded you. It's never about your worth. Be a little careful with watching love readings, because they tap into ungrounded realities sometimes. And unfortunately, I don't think that's what's happening with this person. And why am I saying unfortunately? Because this particular pile, it's so much mental energy with the Seven of Swords. Is you're in your head about the worth of relationships and where they belong going forward. What have we got for pile number 3? What do they need to know? Because they look really like they're blocking the idea of connection, which I'm always surprised when I get a message like this because it's a love reading and somebody's bothering to watch it. So there's a part of you that still wants to know. We have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. If you had an unrequited love, if you really had your heart set on somebody who was not right for you, that was an indication of something you needed to heal, not about whether or not you're lovable. And I know it can feel very much like it's not about being lovable. It's never about that part. It's about somebody not being the right person for you. The people who are right for you are going to love you back. And if you're healing from an unrequited love, and it can go on long term, it really can, then again, it doesn't mean that love is not worthwhile. It just means that you, for reasons having to do with trauma, allowed somebody to remain in your energy field even though they weren't reciprocating things. That doesn't have to define your whole life going forward. What else have we got? Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Hey, listen. You do not need to have a romantic love to be a happy person. But the guides are trying to tell you that you are in your... You just want everything to be settled. And life is not meant to be in a settled state. It's meant to be ever moving and growing and prospering. If you are in this very mental energy of just never again cutting ties, why would I ever do that? Make a change? No. That's a lot of conflict energy. Bringing this whole series to an end. Don't wall up parts of you because somebody damaged them. Or maybe you damaged them because you were taking responsibility for somebody else's actions being about your worth rather than about their worthiness, which happens. What else have we got for pile number 3? Pile number 3 doesn't want love again, and your guides are saying, please stop trying to define forever. That is part of a codependent energy, where you're reliant on having the answers about what's coming up to feel good and secure in the here and the now. The future is going to contain what the future contains. Try to heal yourself so that you're happy. Just try to heal yourself so that you're happy. Okay, we have blonde female. What am I covering? Courting man, blonde female. Lighter hair, laid back. Children. Career. It's a healing energy around that as well, with destiny. Luck, chance, meant to be with home, property, real estate, and resident. So, it looks to me like people have already had some interest in you and you shut it down a lot. And that is your right. That is your right. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But if you're, stop thinking how you feel now is how you're going to feel in 3 years. Everything could be entirely different. You could meet somebody who is so enthusiastic about you, even though it appears that you had an unrequited love in your past. That had to do with that person's own stuff, not about whether or not you're lovable. Okay? That, like, we all want somebody who's not quite right for us sometimes. It's one of our lessons that we have to learn. I don't know if this will help you know, but you're literally surrounded by people who have had unrequited loves all over the place. Even like beautiful, gorgeous, model, Greek god-like people, they've wanted somebody who didn't want them back for a variety of reasons. Soulmate. Can just be people. Hold on. Family support. It's possible that you're very much focused on your own family at this particular point, but it can be generational trauma. Major ending, new beginning. And then we have patience and progress with helping others and to mentor. And then I have commitment marriage on the back. So, patience and progress. All I can keep saying is that if you are absolutely determined from this standpoint that there is no place in my life for that, I don't even believe it. I think it's all a great big lie. I think it's all just brain chemistry and people don't actually really fall in love. It's a chemical response that will fade over time. Whatever this like extreme mental energy is around this, where in the head and the heart battle, you've told your heart like, hey, it's not worth it. It's just never going to be worth it. All your guides are reminding you about is that there can be more trying to come to you. Even if it wasn't what you thought you wanted and the thing that really, really broke your heart. Because like somebody here, just their poor heart got put through a Cuisinart. It's just terrible. The trauma card, the Ten of Swords in reverse is an extreme trauma card. But a new cycle beginning, you have decided is not worth your time or effort, and that it will just, remember the idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Be open to the idea that maybe the right person is coming. And that the right person will celebrate you and embrace you and want you. And that part of the reason that it couldn't happen earlier is that when we attach ourselves to people who aren't treating us properly, when we feel like we have to chase or win their love, it really is about how much we value ourselves. And that a lot of the times people can't accept healthy love because they don't think they're worthy of it yet. As witnessed by the whole, like, went after somebody or really invested in somebody who did not share the same feeling, and it was kind of obvious, and hoping that they would. Because that would make you feel like you were lovable. You are lovable whether or not that person wanted you back. You inspire me. I would do it all again. I feel so happy with you. I trusted you. We don't share the same values with I miss seeing you. This is an interesting one. We don't share the same values. Oh, okay, and I would do it all again with I hide my feelings on the back. I need you to understand something. That unrequited love card, it did have to do with this aspect. It did have to do with this aspect. They just didn't think you were right for them. They just didn't think you were right for them. And honest to goodness, it feels like they actually really, 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 really liked you. And that, like, they actually had to sit down and kind of think it over. I don't know if that helps to know. That, like, ultimately they just decided that that not shared values thing would not endure well. But that they did have questions around it, so it was not as one-sided as you think it was, okay? But that to please listen to me, because this is a person who's still in some pain and not recognizing it as being a symptom of pain. If you have convinced yourself never ever again, it is because it still hurts. It doesn't mean that you'll be all like, absolutely again. It's just that defiant no way, no how energy is about wounds, and you're being told to be patient and that you're not healed yet, and it doesn't matter how long it's been. The depth of the wound is not determined by the span of time, but rather the depth of the injury and the real origin date of it, because all of those things have our roots in our child. We got the children card. They have the roots in what happened to us as kids. And when we do all this inner healing, when we do this soul searching, it isn't so that we can live in solitary confinement, and it is not futile to love people, no matter what stage of life that you're in. File number 3, that was an interesting one, because your guides are trying to tell you, hey, listen, we know you think you're healed, but you're not yet. And the way that you can tell is that you're really closed down to the idea that there's a point in romantic relationships. And that is an indication that it still hurts. And that there will be a day in your life where it doesn't hurt any longer. And it doesn't mean you have to be paired up, but that recognize that you have a symptom of a retained injury. Because the reason you want to give up is that you kind of believe that no one's ever really going to love you. And start by loving yourself and being happy by yourself. And it looks like you are, but that like you actually just shy away as if burned from the idea of another relationship. And that's a stage in healing. It's not the destination in healing, okay? And it doesn't mean you have to be with somebody, because I'll always get somebody pushing back, I never want another person. Hey, that's your right to decide. But you're being told that it's a symptom of not being healed. which means keep going on your healing journey, okay? So pile number 3, you cannot see the end date here because you're still going through it. You're still trying to heal some stuff. And don't resent how long it takes. It really, just be glad that there's guidance and help and hope. And try to have hope for your future, no matter whether or not it contains a romantic partnership. But your guides are saying that your attitude towards it is indicative of something that you are still healing, okay? All right, pile number 3, that was your message. What an interesting and strange love reading I've had today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you need to find me for a private reading, you can do so at therisingmoon.com, where apparently we could look into what you're trying to heal and what residual energies you might be retaining. Take care, be well, and love your life even if you don't want romantic love in it, okay?